So the last couple of weeks I've been deep diving into my theories and what is already out there within the Rust Console Discord and via G Portal regarding the next updates that will come to the game Rust Console within 2024. Now everyone loves to know what is going to come next to this game, and that's because the game kind of lacks content, and this could easily just be put down to you put so many hours into the game that, especially when Rig came out, for example, everyone was hitting Rig 24/7. Now if you do that over the course of a week or two, you're then kind of going to get bored with the monument and then you want something else. This is the thing with the Rust Console community. We already have PC to look up to, so the expectations are very high, but you know, that's D11 didn't really help themselves with this, I'm just saying. The massive expectation that console has, because we already have the pretty much refined version of the game on PC, better graphics, 100 times more monuments and content. However, I digress. I'm going to be looking into Jade Monkey's video regarding what he believes will come, whether I can debunk it or not.
Go on to our first item on the list, the one I'm the most excited about. But after seeing how custom servers have come in and how fast you can move, I think with all three of these are potentially on the table, and if they do cut them down, I think it'll be these. So
first and foremost, he talks about Helis. Now, Helis, attack helicopter, and scrap Helis. This is something I've said, this we're not going to see the light of day with this update. I'm just saying, if you think old gen can run this when, you know, we can't run community servers at a steady frame rate, especially when we have all these big bases, what makes you think you can fly in the air and render in that shit? So Jade Monkey, like a lot of you in the comment section when I talk about the possibility of Helis coming to the game, is the no clip and how fast you can run around in no clip. Now you can do this for admin. Again, in my opinion, is completely different to flying around in a scrap heli or a minicopter. Number one, well, we don't really need them because we need bigger maps. But number two, I quickly hopped onto my community server, CNQR Warfare Clans, where the big bases are, and I literally just flew around for a couple of seconds to see what the rendering in was like. That way you could just make up the pieces of the puzzle on whether you could fly over a base and render it in time before, let's say, dropping to do a raid on a top-down base. Yeah, we've still got some work to do. Now, to be fair, recently we've had some more performance updates based on the game, more specifically to do with frames, that rolled out a couple of days ago. Now, again, I will just say, and if they can pull this off, fair play to them. You know, I'll be cheering for them all the way if I can. However, I cannot see this happening with old gen and optimizing both games because of how much demand it is and how much work D11 will have to put in. First, let's get to at least 4K maps before talking about scrap helis and all this and that. So if you think they're coming this year, I mean, it's a high chance they might if we get bigger maps. That is the key to unlocking a lot of this stuff. So what do you think about riding around in cars on Rust Console? Well, there's a possibility that this could happen.
Of another addition, that is the modular vehicles. That's right. We've seen these bad boys cooking for a while. When we did get our custom servers, one of the options inside of the G portal was the monuments, and there was a junkyard. And the junkyard comes with modular vehicles. They go hand in hand. Now,
Junkyard, in similar style to Power Plant, has been leaked through just appearing on maps accidentally. Here, I'll let you into a little secret. I don't actually think D11 are doing this on accident. I think they're actually doing it on purpose, because everyone's moaning about the lack of content on the game. I think they have a little board meeting and they're like, here guys, you know, not many people are liking the game in the moment, what can we do? Oh, we could just leak one of our new monuments, like Junkyard or Power Plant. That'll keep people engaged for about a couple of seconds before they moan about the next thing. Yes, that's right, we're doing it. On a serious note, yes, Junkyard has been leaked to appear in this game at some point. Do I think cars will come with it? No. Number one, we already have horses, and number two, we need bigger maps. And number three, you're driving at high speeds in a car. Are you going to be able to render in stuff? Again, like the clip I just showed, are you going to render in big maps if you're on, let's say, a 3x server, modded to the highest modded that you can do within Rust Console? Are you going to be able to render in? And number three, old gen? Again, I don't think cars will come. The key to this is bigger maps. And, you know, whenever we will see bigger maps, then I'll be talking about, yeah, this is a huge possibility. The only thing with Junkyard is is that it has placeholders for you to customize your car. That's why it's kind of pointless if they added it and then had no mention of cars coming into the game. However, you can collect scrap, and there's more things to do than just customize your car on Junkyard. So there is a good reason for it to be added to the game. Sea Labs is another update within the community that's huge in terms of popularity in coming to this game. Everyone believes Sea Labs will come within 2024, and it could very much be likely. So let's track back actually a couple of years when we were talking about Cargo coming to the game. Now, Cargo was a place where everyone was kind of hyped for it to come on release, and still is a very much used and loved monument within the game. This is when I was literally just doing news based on TikTok and talking about the newest updates, such as Cargo that was recently coming to the game. Now, if my memory serves me well, it was either Cargo or Sea Labs that we were going to get. That's what D11 were kind of dropping. They were saying, well, it could either be Sea Labs or it could either be Cargo, and we were guessing between the two. Now, it does make me think, because they had Sea Labs in mind, does it mean they've had further development on Sea Labs to come to the game? Bearing in mind, this was nearly 2 years ago. So Jade Monkey talks about submarines and tugboats.
The underwater labs, I'm going to call it the Sea Labs. We did have the ability to spawn in, or we saw remnants of the tugboats. Yes, it's huge. It is a mobile base on the water. And because we know they're prototyping that already, we do know that the thing that has to go with this, because everything has a balance in this game, right? So this thing's pretty OP, so the counter to the tugboat is submarines, and the submarines come with underwater labs.
The tugboats thing I wasn't aware of, or I'm not aware of. Was this thing actually a thing where you could spawn in the tugboat or a prototype of it? That would be interesting to know, and if not see. I don't know if Jade Monkey's already done a video on the prototype spawning, but I'd love to see an actual clip of this going down. The thing is about these updates is how much of a demand are they on the performance on consoles. Again, the optimization is for 2 consoles, so it's going to be a lot harder to get these updates working very well side by side in sync on both of these consoles. I can't see tugboats coming to the game based off Sea Labs coming. Submarines is a bit more of a, I guess, likelihood of happening. However, we have ribs, we have boats, and then we have these scuba tanks and gear that comes with it in the wetsuits that you can just quickly deep dive and go into the labs and, you know, do your thing. I must admit, I was surprised when I saw the release of sharks within the game. This could be a huge nod into the right direction for Sea Labs to become an actual thing and possibility within 2024. And I'm not opposed to, you know, saying that it's not going to come. It's just that a lot of stuff I'm looking at, I'm kind of thinking, well, is it possible on optimizing on both of these consoles? How much can you optimize on both these consoles? And as well, how many monuments are they going to add to a fucking 3KM map? Make the maps bigger. An off-topic note here quickly. Are any of you experiencing really bad lag within community servers? Now, I know there's a lot of community servers that have been sold. Not really the consumer's problem. That's G Portals and D11s. But the lag is just insane. I mean, even on 10 pops, you are lagging. Even on ones that are within your region, let's say from the UK, for example, you go into an EU one and you're still lagging. Those type of things within the game make me think, how the fuck are they going to add all of this stuff that we're talking about into the game when the game isn't still fixed from a lot of the bugs? One thing I find really funny about this game is some of the things D11 fix. Now, you used to be able to color your text on your community servers and customize it to make it look cool and stand out from the rest. And now recently, they've taken that off. And one of us in the chat was kind of thinking like, this is what they looked at. You got the DDoS problems and all this and that with Rust Console. So let's say there's an application going up for a job at 11 to work on Rust Console. And let's say Pedro Silva got this person into an office that applied for the job and then says, why do you think we should hire you? Well, Pedro, I've been playing the game first and foremost since beta, and as well, one of the leading things that I believe will fix this game is changing the colours of the server names. I really do think that's corrupting the game. I think it's misleading. You can't go into a server with coloured text. You've got to make it boring as possible for the person to find what server they're looking for. You're hired. Jokes aside, my main point about this video and update videos in general is that there's so little things that need to be done to then unlock the possibilities of more updates coming to this game, and this would include bigger maps. I do feel like bigger maps are the key to having way more monuments, and a lot more transportation that is needed within the game. Cars could easily come 4km maps, but 3km we already have horses and the rendering in issue that this game has. Helis, scrap helis, attack helicopters, let's not talk about that. The only updates that we know are coming to the game is one that is military based, and this is going to be confirmed via a dev blog either this week or next week by Pedro Silva and D11. That's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel and video greatly. Subscribe if you're in fact new around here. It's like 90% people. Everyone fucking says 90% people. Just subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this. As always, join up the Discord. Look into my links such as TikTok. And I'll see you in the next one. The colours of the servers.